Tonight's headlines from Iraq. Huge crowds mourn murdered religious leader. Is Shiite majority turning on U.S. forces? And the road to 9/11. A new book says the FBI missed plenty of opportunities to follow the terror trail. While debate continues over the justification for the war in Iraq, one thing seems clear. Had there not been the murderous attacks of 9/11, there probably would have been no war. Now, a new book to be released tomorrow, 1000 Years for Revenge, International Terrorism and the FBI, contends that the FBI could have and should have prevented the 9/11 attacks. Peter Lance says his own investigation goes far beyond the congressional joint inquiries into the 9/11 attacks.
What we found, and this has never been made public, was that Osama bin Laden had an effective al-Qaeda cell in Brooklyn, New York, as early as March of 1991. Osama bin Laden directly bankrolled the original World Trade Center bombing operation, and Osama bin Laden directly bankrolled 9/11.
According to Lance, he uncovered evidence that was available to federal agents, but which they never actually analyzed or acted upon.
I show for the first time that the New York office of the FBI, the bin Laden office of origin, basically was onto these guys the same cell as far back as 1989 and dropped the ball not just once, not just a dozen times, but dozens and dozens of times.
He traces these lapses back to 1989 and FBI surveillance of a group of Middle Eastern men at a Caverton, Long Island shooting range. Yet, inexplicably, the FBI suddenly stopped watching after just 1 month.
Of the men photographed by the FBI in 1989, 3 of them were later convicted in the original World Trade Center bombing. 1 was convicted in the murder of Rabbi Meir Kahane. 1 was convicted in the Day of Terror plot to blow up bridges and tunnels around Manhattan.
The Calverton men became devoted followers of blind cleric Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman. Rahman brought in professional bomber Ramzi Youssef, and the men began to plot the first World Trade Center bombing.
It was absolutely possible for the FBI to have identified and stopped Youssef in the fall of '92 as he built the bomb. If they had stopped Ramzi Youssef in 1992, they would have stopped 9/11.
Lance says the FBI could have stopped Youssef because they had an informant, Ahmad Salem, already in place. He was close enough to take this video of a celebration that included several members of the original Calverton group, and to hear whispers about a bomb plot. But inter-office fighting at the FBI forced Salem to quit, leaving a chilling warning.
The last thing Ahmad Salem said to Nancy Floyd, his control agent, before he left was, "Don't call me when the bombs go off."
There's been an explosion.
4 months later, Ramzi Youssef placed a truck bomb under the World Trade Center, killing 6 and injuring 1,000. The FBI was then told to get informant Salem back in Sheikh Rahman's network.
And in 2 months, he set up a sting operation that rounded up the blind Sheikh and 11 others in a plot to blow up bridges and tunnels around Manhattan.
But World Trade Center bomber Youssef got away. He fled to the Philippines, where he began to lay the groundwork for 9/11. According to Lance's sources, the FBI was still missing the big picture.
Once they had convicted all these guys, they thought the danger was over. The threat to New York had been diminished. Well, in fact, what they didn't do or connect the larger dots that tied all these men directly to bin Laden and al-Qaeda and to a much broader international conspiracy. Tomorrow night, we'll follow Ramzi Youssef to the Philippines, where he germinates the 9/11 plot. In a moment, John Roberts